Hello there, sir. It appears I have some bad news for you. First off, I'm back. Second of all, there appears to be a new Lord of Gundabad who is stirring up the orcs up to the north. And finally, I've just received word that I'm expected to be escorting a scholar up from the south.
What do we have here?
Yes, I've heard from this scholar, Leothred, that you speak of. If he's merely a scholar seeking passage, I'll hear his request. If he has any other purpose here, I will ask that you send him on his way. Yes, sir. Well, let's see if I could find that scholar. I should be able to see a Gondorian along in all this group. Perhaps not a Gondorian scholar, a Rohirric scholar. Oh, hello, sir.
Greetings. I am Leothred.
Ah, you must be Pineleaf. I'm glad that you received my letter, and I'm honored that you would meet me, Great Warden. As I have told you in my letter, I came north to study the legacy of my people. The Rohirrim are rich with history, and I feel that I have an obligation to preserve their tale in writing. I wish not to trespass upon the wilds of the Beornings. If Grimbeorn will approve my short stay in his lands, I would be most grateful and repay him in kindness. Well, I will check with Grimbeorn, but as his name implies, he can at times be grim. I've spoken with the scholar, sir, and apparently he wishes to study ruins relating to his people. As I told you, I'm very busy, Pineleaf. If you wish to see Leothred to where he wants to go, I've no objection. All I ask is that he pays the toll for travel that all must pay. I'm glad that you're here, Hobbit. I do not wish for, nor have the time for guests. So you take care of him. I'm busy with this thing about Gundabad you told me about. Yeah, well, at least he's taking that seriously. So, back to the scholar. He says that you can study the area as long as you pay the toll.
You will guide me then. Splendid.
Yes, and a toll. Yes, of course I'll pay the toll. It is the least I can do for the kindness that Grimbeorn has shown me. And you'll guide me? Splendid! Right, then, where do we go?
I hope that I am not a burden to you.
Yes, I could use a companion during my travels. It's a boon to my research that you accompany me with your current knowledge of these lands and your skills in combat. I have heard that the North can be a harsh place at times. I've just come from Mordor. I can tell you that there are some places in the South that can be harsh also. Now then, I suppose we'd best be off. The story of the Rohirrim begins in many ways in Avabarg. So let's go to Avabarg then. Now, if these are walls of the ancient Rohirrim, that meant either A, they used to build in stone, even though they don't do so much anymore, or B, someone lived here before they did. Hmm. Hello there.
In many ways, the story of my people begins with King Marhari of the Northmen.
Yes. Disaster befell the Theuda during the Battle of the Plains against the Wainwriters. When King Marhari fell in that battle, his son Marwini led the survivors on a long journey in search for a new home, ultimately resettling here. Marwini's people, the Aithuda or horsefolk, were not well satisfied dwelling in the vales. They desired open country where they could ride and graze their herds. Their scouts found this in the Floodfells, but Marwini deemed it too rough and untamable a land, and too close to the threat of Angmar to halt with his war-weary people. Well, there is that. There is that. A place of history. Our people tire of this journey. So be it. We shall settle here. So they settled here. Let's study other places that are all over here. And here's the second site. Here, Marwani built the Hall of Avabarg and named it the chief fortress of Ithuda. This was not the safest of places, though. The coming of the horse folk roused the orcs of Hithaglir and attacked them again and again over the next century. Both Marwini's sons, Forthwini, and his grandson, Forthari, fell in battle against the orcs, having only Forthani's youngest son as heir. Another place of history. Orcs, of course, attacking and killing as they're wont to do. Another place of history. What's this place? Forthari's youngest son was Frumgar, a boy of 12, now chieftain of the Ithuda. While still a youth, Frumgar became a hero of his people, befriending both the Longbeard dwarves and the wizard Gandalf the Grey and Baradiel the Brown. Baradiel the Brown. Another name for Radagast, I guess. Alright. So, a friend of wizards. Interesting. Yep, Radagast, alright. It is an honor to meet you. Right. And then we have up here another place of history. Here we are.
Frumgar received an ancient sword, Rothblada, from Kuranir the White.
With these allies, he was able to defeat the orcs in battle at the age of 17. Well, that's a good. That's quite a feat there, being able to take care of them. Too bad it wasn't permanent. I shall lead my people with this gift you have given me.
Frumgar was victorious.
Yes, it was said, however, that defeat only stoked the orcs' thirst for blood. Yeah, they do have that habit. 13 years later, the orcs returned to raise the Ithuda's lands and sack Avabarg. Well, yeah. That also sounds like orcs.
We must show these foul marauders that Avabarg is no home for orcs.
Yes. To see these orcs upon Avabarg? No, this is a great injustice to the legacy of the Rohirrim. We must show them that Avabarg is no home for them. Alright, so you mean that this orc right here, I need to get rid of him? Oh, okay, yeah. Thank you for not standing in my way when I was throwing that javelin. Because it would have been very embarrassing to hit you instead. There you go. There you go. Fewer orcs in Avabarg. That's what we need. And here we stand at the door of Avabarg itself. Another place of history. Frumgar and his warriors defeated the marauders, but afterwards his lands lay in ruins. Where? Where's my wife? Where next? Inside, of course. Another place of history. His wife's body lay among the ashes of his hall. She died there, having given birth to their only son.
Frumgar named his son Fram, and swore he would not know the same sorrow when he was grown.
Yes, in my research I learned that 6 years after Fram's birth, Angmar fell. The kingdom's demise was sudden, coming only a year after the Witch King's final victory over Arthedain and the fall of Fornost. The chronicles of this time say an army of elves and men of Gondor, having come too late to save the northern Dunedain, put the Agmarim to the sword and sent the Witch King flying back to Mordor. Why do I relate this story to you? Angmar's fall had an important connection to my people. At this time, Gundabad no longer had the Iron Kingdom at its back, and the moors and glens of the Welling floods no longer seemed daunting as they had in the Merwani 100 years before. Fram now saw this as an opportunity to lead his people to great things. Ooh.
Perhaps it would be in our best interest to check in with Grimbeorn.
Yes, if we were to head north from Avabarg, the path would take us past the Bjorninghus again. And perhaps we'd best check, in our best interest, to check in with Grimbjorn. I do not wish to overstay my welcome in these lands, and I will speak to him and see what he thinks about this. And maybe he'll have time to think about Gundabad. Hello, sir. I'm back from Avabarg.
You have returned.
Is Leothred finished with his history? Oh, I see. He needs to travel north. I'm afraid I can't allow that at the moment. After you brought your news about Gundabad, I asked one of the eagles to gather news from northern Bjorning outpost of Limlock. I should think the eagle will return with news in a day or two. And they also need to check on Gundabad, of course. But now that you're here, why not pitch in with the daily work? Yes, there's always much to do. I need wood chopped, berries picked, and some lost chickens to track down. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Chickens. Ah, I found a chicken. Hello. You need to come with me. Catching chickens. Catch one of the chickens that Grimbjorn is worried about. I'd better see if I can find the other three. Three more also. Oh, chickens! Ah! Some berries. I think he wanted me to get some berries also. Yes, these look like they're just the right ripeness. So I'll see if I can find a few of those. And I need some wood, some chickens, and some berries. Ah! Another one of the chickens! Found you! There we go. 2 chickens. And now I'll see if we can find some more berries. Ah! Very good. Very, very good. Ah! Here's the 3rd chicken. That means there should be only one more left. And then I have to look for that firewood. Ah, yes. The last chicken. That means all I have left to do is to find the wood and chop some of that. It's nice that the chickens are now safe and sound. I'm supposed to chop this. That's a pretty big axe for a hobbit. That's what I gotta say about that. I'll use my own. Just saying. Just use my own. Ah. I guess they want 8 pieces of this, don't they? I'm starting to get a bit tired. I think I have to settle for 6 piles of wood. Yes, that should be enough. Now, maybe Grimbjorn would have thought of something while I was all busy. Maybe A message came from the eagles or something. Who knows? Hi there, all done.
You have done all the day's work. Good, good.
I should say you deserve a rest and some honey cakes. Some honey cakes would be nice.
Now what? Another guest?
Yes, we have not have time for more guests. Pineleaf, see what these guests want and send them on their way. All right. What am I, the gatekeeper or something? This guy doesn't seem to be in very good shape.
No. Please. Listen.
Pineleaf, is that you? Please. Listen. I traveled from the Thornholt with Vosgord, Threckmoth, and 3 dwarves. We came to warn you of a growing threat. The war bands in the mountains have grown fearsome by day. We made it to Limlock. The village is not safe. They need help. They need help. Another attack? I already left 3 dwarves there. I was ambushed on my journey here. I narrowly escaped those wargs. I barely escaped. Oh, no. Grimyor should hear of Hunolf's final words. He didn't completely escape. It looks like things in Limlock are worse than I thought.
Oh, Hunolf.
Hunolf, my kin! I did not recognize him at the gate, and now his news you bring pains me. Hunolf was an outsider, but kin all the same. We must see that his death was not in vain. You're willing to help, Warden? I will gladly accept this kindness. Here, take this candle. Light it for Hunolf at the Karok. If you take the scholar with you, that is your decision. Just see to it that he does not die. I wish for no more deaths of those in my lands who I have sworn to protect. Those in Limlock seek your aid. You must go north. Well, since I came here to warn you, I was thinking of going back eventually anyway, so that fits in with my plans. Now, let's see what Leothard has to say.
If Grimbeorn allows me to continue, then continue I shall.
This is horrible. I did not think I would be imposing myself upon the Vales in such trying times. If Grimbeorn allows me to continue, though, I shall. Do not worry, Pineleaf. I will not get in your way. I hope not. I hope not.
You are heading to Limlock, yes?
I
will accompany you.
Yes, you're going to Nimlock. I will accompany you. I will see the story that I seek follows the same path. Might we stop at the Karok on our way? Well, I have to go there anyway. I would very much like to see it for myself. There are some Rohirric histories there as well, if you can believe it. Very well, I will head up to the Karok, and there I shall light a candle in memory of Hunolf. What a view! It seems the mountain fog is too thick to see Erebor today. There is that. Quite a view. You can imagine Fram, uncertain of his decision to bring his people north.
Folklore of the Aithuda held that it was from, not the dwarf king Durin, who first beheld the lonely mountain.
For a time the folklore of the Aithuda held that it was from, not the dwarf king Durin, who first beheld the lonely mountain, though no tale among the Durin's folk mentions him. There may be some truth in this claim. I still wonder which story is true. I fear the story of From may have been embellished in places over the years. Well, yeah, there is that. There is always that. Now, let's get that candle lit. Now back to the candle. Farewell. Who knows death cannot be in vain. What will we find when we reach Limlock? We'll have to find that out in the next episode of The Legacy of Durin.